This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by American Helix. The American Helix is a revolutionary new concept in smoking technology. Designed and manufactured by American glassblowers, this pipe is light years ahead of its time. Based on Bernoulli's principle, the shape of the pipe along with an innovative intake system creates a Venturi effect through precision microholes in the chamber, which results in a slower burn that conserves tobacco and gives a smooth, refreshing smoking experience, making the American Helix the smoothest hitting pipe on the market. For further info or to locate their products, you can find them online at AmericanHelix.com. That's AmericanHelix.com. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Zen Glass Studios. Located in the heart of St. Petersburg, Florida, Zen Glass has a wide range of offerings to choose from. Their menu includes one-on-one or group classes in their hot shop or flameworking studio, create your own wine glass, and so much more. If you're a traveling artist, they even have a space to rent that you can temporarily call home. With over 50 years of combined experience, Zen Glass can help you fine-tune your techniques, whether you're a novice or advanced glass artist. For their calendar of events, including info about their Third Thursday studio jams, you can contact Zen at zenglass.com. That's zenglass.com. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is also brought to us by Mountain Glass Arts. For the month of February 2017, Mountain Glass is offering Northstar first quality rods at 30% off. Just put in the code Northstar at checkout. That's NORTHSTAR. And for all you soft glass nerds, their Creations is Messy sale, 40% off. All you have to do is put in the code MESSY at checkout. That's MESSY. And for any questions, comments, or concerns, go to mountainglass.com. That's mountainglass.com. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 149. This is Jay Michael, your host, and thank you so much for tuning in today. With 17 years of experience behind the torch, I am as excited as always to bring you conversations with artists, sharing their stories in hopes to inspire and entertain, while helping you grow your business. And today is no exception. As you can probably hear in the background, I'm actually out in my backyard. It's a blustery, windy, beautiful 75-ish degree day here in West Central Florida. And I figured right now my studio space, my recording spot that I have out my garage is under construction in a sense. Actually, the process of now building the soundproof booth, making it way more functional, and also getting it set up now so I can have all my camera equipment set up and what have you to begin the video recording for all of the series, I guess accompanying videos, I should say, that are going to be going along with the actual podcast. Like today, for instance, today's kind of theme is all about body mechanics and lower back pain, something I've been dealing with lately. And as it comes across these topics, I like to discuss, things that I'm dealing with and going through and share my stories and then get ideas for topics to cover. And I know in past episodes I've talked about body mechanics and the importance of it and the proper, matting to stand on and what have you. So today I'm going to specifically cover lower back pain and how to help deal with it through stretching and taking breaks, but also some of the science and factual stuff out there that I found, statistical evidence in a sense that really shows really how important our lower back is to the rest of our body. It stabilizes us, our core, it's everything. Without our lower back, we wouldn't be able to walk. And if that was in constant pain, we'd be hunched over all the damn time. So it's something I wanted to talk about. I'm also recording through a different mic today. My mics that I usually record are in the garage right now, just kind of put to the side. So I figured I'd use my little more of a portable setup, being out in the backyard. So wind's blowing. I got the wind chimes in the background. Got my little fountain going. Dogs will probably bark occasionally here and there. Maybe a bird flying over. But I figured I'd bring you outside with me today. It's absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, so before I do get on that topic and get into the topics of, or the talk, I should say, of body mechanics, I just kind of wanted to cover some of the in the news topics that are going on right now in the industry, in the functional glass world. As y'all are probably aware through Instagram and social media, if you have not been out there and at the events, we just had Age, Champs, and Glass Vegas all just took place over the last month and a half. And some of the responses and feedback I've been seeing, a lot of folks had a lot of great times. A lot of artists sold a lot of their work, like selling out type of stuff. Some artists that brought a whole shit ton of production maybe didn't sell a lot, but got their name out there. A lot of the bigger name artists, some of the guys and gals at the top of the echelon, they sold out or got close to selling out. But I think it really just goes to show that this industry is constantly growing, and it's annually growing. I mean, now with Glass Vegas being a new trade show, really specifying their concern for the American glass industry and really focused on the American glass artist, where some of the other quote unquote American glass shows are focused on the American glass, but they're also allowing other things and other companies in. I don't know from experience personally, but just from the feedback and from talking to other artists and even having guests on the show, those have been listening for this for a while, have heard the same conversations. We've had Nick on from Glass Roots up in Wisconsin, up in Madison, which I am definitely going this year. Got everything arranged. With work scheduling, with the wife, family. I'm actually trying to bring her with me this time around. It's part of my goal is really with this design of my life to be able to bring her, along with me, family-wise. But yeah, so anywho, back to what I was talking about. So trade show season's in. There's going to be more coming up in the fall. So definitely those that are going to be getting set up for the fall, either you're filling your orders, getting started to fill your orders, what have you. And also maybe didn't go to this round of shows, but you want to go to one in the summer or the fall. So now is really the time to start planning all that stuff out, especially paying attention to these companies and these organizations that are putting on these trade shows to really stay on top of when they release their booth sales. A lot of times you can get early bird discounts, which saves you a shit ton of money. I mean, sometimes the money that you save in the discounts for these booths that you can get really could potentially give you free shipping if you kind of do the math and how much it costs to ship and how much it costs you for the booth if you waited too late to get a spot. Not to mention first come first serve in a sense, and also selling out. Like Glass Roots, for instance, they're very limited in how many tables they have. So just some things to think about, as we go along there. Also, because of these trade shows and the money that's being made, it got me thinking too that it's tax season, and coming up next week, I'm going to be talking more in depth about taxes and really getting the ideas of paying quarterly taxes, which I am doing this year finally. Last year I started to, and talking to my accountant, she recommended I wait until this following year just to get my stuff on track, as I was cutting some fat out of my life in terms of not only physically but also my business. So this year I'll be definitely filing quarterly. So March is the first time to file, and then we go from there. But I'm going to be bringing her on. Been trying to get her on now for a couple, year and a half now. So she'll be coming on here pretty soon as well to talk more in depth about taxes and preparation. Also, those of you that have subscribed to Glass Alchemy's email, they just sent out email today. Today is, I think it's the 9th, I believe. Let's see. I'm like so off on my days. It's amazing how fast time is going. But yeah, today's the 9th. It's on Thursday. I'm recording this. So if you listen to this today or in a year from now, it's all kind of, I guess, has meaning to it. But they sent an email out talking about their board of directors that they just filled out and formed, and I think it's a smart idea because their board of directors is a list of artists, which I'm actually going to put a link in the show notes for their email. But it's a lot of artists in our industry that have been prominently using Glass Alchemy's color for most of their careers. As we all know, and if you don't know, Mike Shelbo has been instrumental working side by side with Glass Alchemy. If you have a Glass Alchemy glass poster, or if you go to glassalchemy.com and see there, and they're not a sponsor of the show, but I'm just bringing this up just because of just history in this industry right now, where things are going and trends and what have you. But anyway, so Mike Shelbo is very instrumental into Glass Alchemy. His poster, the poster that's out there is his little goblin heads, and he's known for making these goblins. He's also known for other artists that want to learn how to do sculpture, copying his work, and then going from there. A lot of controversy over that shit. But to digress here, so It's interesting because Mike's been there. So Mike is more or less, I guess, the head. There's a term they gave him. I don't have it in front of me right now, but again, I'll have it in the link in the show notes. But they're talking about him basically being the head of the board, and then there's a list of, I believe it was 10 artists that are on the board. I know there's usually when you have a board of directors, they require by law I think it's the FCC actually requires it that you have to have a certain amount of board members for an equal vote on certain things and what have you. But what it's really going to do it to me is, I guess it's a positive thing. It's going to give the Glass Alchemy Company feedback from artists, not only from themselves but from their friends who they work with, or just from hearing things online and what have you, to give a really good feedback to the company about what's going on in trends and how things can be done differently or better, or how, what have you, or certain colors that work better than this, especially with the CADs being reformulated and everything else going on right now. So I just want to put that out there. I thought I was very interested, and I actually have reached out to Glass Alchemy, responded to this email to see if they want to come on the show to talk about this. I'm also going to be reaching out to Abe Fleischman today too, just to have both sides of the companies and the industries, just in terms of the two major players that we have out there. We've got a lot of other glass companies that have spawned up over the years, but these two guys, company-wise, at least the brands of these companies, even though they have different owners in a sense now, they have been very instrumental into this huge palette of color we have now. Good thing, bad thing, I don't know, but either way, we're going to be finding out here soon as they continue to grow. So, a little news from Glass Alchemy. I'll definitely, again, have that link in the show notes. And also wanted to let you all know, too, that Zen Glass, who is a sponsor of the show, and I rent space at over here in St. Pete, in Florida. If you ever are coming into town, need a spot to rent some space, they have an amazing, huge studio space. Malachias is in town now for a bit. We got Dirty Bees in there. We got... oh God, who else is in there? I know Wicked's on his way back from Vegas. I mean, we just got a lot of cool big names that are coming in the town just because they're snowbirds and they have their RV life in a sense. But we also have a big group of young artists in there that are learning and getting influenced through all of us that are in there. All of us, quote unquote, OGs that have been doing this for 12 plus years. So it's pretty badass. And for myself too, to have these guys in there and other artists that are flowing in and out, it's a huge, awesome opportunity. But right now, this weekend they have the Women's in Glass show, which is the first time they've ever done that. It's the first time I'm aware also that there's been an all-in, specifically inclusive women's glass show. It's pretty badass. That's going to be this weekend on the 11th, which is in 2 days from now. And then their next class that they have coming up is February, or not February 11th, that's this next show. The next class that they're offering is with Whitney Harmon and IO Glass. And that class is going to be taking place from March 18th through the 19th. And then the 17th, before the class starts, the day before, is when they're actually having a show that the two guys will be putting their glass out there. And they both have very unique styles, but they're also very similar in terms of how they compose their work and thinking outside the box and experimenting and being influenced by other artists out there that you can clearly see in their work. So they definitely have a voice in the industry, and it's pretty badass seeing these guys. Io has been around Zen for years and years and years. I know him through them. He used to rent space, went to college here locally, learned glass through them, back and forth through the West Coast and back to Florida. And so it's pretty cool to see his growth in the community and come back home in a sense to be here in town and teaching classes now, sharing the knowledge. So definitely stay up to date with Zen Glass. You can go to zenglass.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Zen Glass Studios or Zen Glass Gallery. And just pay attention to them. Again, I'll have all these links in the show notes. You can also go to wiseguymedia.com/149 to find all the show notes and this episode posted on there that you can live stream from the website. So definitely take advantage of that for sure. So on my end of stories, I just recently this week uploaded our new store on wiseguymedia.com. You can go to wiseguymedia.com/shop. We've uploaded some new t-shirt designs, a hat. What else is on there? Gonna have coffee cups, cell phone case holders, a lot of things that a company called Printful, I believe that they're called, actually offers. It's an amazing business model concept. But if anybody has any questions or wants to know how to set up their own little shop, it's something that we're actually gonna be offering as an assistance to other artists here soon as we begin to build this brand to really to help other artists market themselves. And these kind of tools that are out there for us to get our hands on is huge to help. So you guys, again, just gotta, if you want to help, sense yourself, help support the show, you can go there and get a shirt or what have you. My wife is also an amazing artist herself in her own right, and she paints and does what have you. And so I took some of her images for some high-resolution prints that we got made, and went on the store, and then we have some bags, some handbags, like tote bags that we're offering, as well as some T-shirts on there too for women, and we'll have some men's stuff. She does like a lot of nude type of. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to describe it. They're nudes, I know that much, but yeah, my sense of art and art history and education and terminology, yeah, it's non-existent. So I'm not even going to try. Either way, just go to wiseguymedia.com/shop, and you can check us on there. You can also go up to the top menu bar and look where it says, I think it says shop or support. I haven't know if I changed it or not, but definitely go on there and check us out and all that good stuff. We're going to be putting some glass up there pretty soon, some pendants and what have you. So just a lot of new stuff. We're just trying to get some products out there for you all to share and wear and promote the show. Some of the T-shirts, the one T-shirt I have right now is just basically a little wise guy blowing glass on a torch, and underneath it says glass artist. We're going to have some that's going to say support your local glass artist. One's going to say I'm married to a glass blower, or I love my glass blower. We're going to have one that says triple, quadruple blown, like just kind of fun, silly shit like that. And, it's just kind of just things we can put out there, just fun little swaggity stuff for this company as we grow and expand and give you guys opportunity to help support us in this process as well. So definitely go check that out. And until next time, and I keep rambling on, I shouldn't say until next time, but I'm just going to keep... I'm out back. I'm relaxed. I'm chilling. I'm not really focused. So I'm going to get on with the show here. And now it's time for us to get in our segment all about body mechanics and protecting your lower back. We're back with our, I guess we're going to call this our medical segment. We haven't done these in a while, and kind of getting back into this groove of my initial plan with the show of doing every week have an artist interview, but also every week have a different type of episode, whether it's medical or business or, actual specific health topics, not just medical, but health, talking taxes, all kind of stuff, just things that we need to know about as a small business, as glass artists, and as human beings in general. And today we're going to be getting into talking about the lower back and proper body mechanics, which are huge and very important when it comes to being a full-time glass artist and understanding that if you are able to work with proper body mechanics, you're going to be able to work longer days, more productive days, but also for many, 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 many years to come. A lot of people that get injured in and on the work, I'm sorry, I'm just scooting up here, get injured in the workforce, typically get injured because they have back pain or some kind of back issue. And whether you're standing or sitting, it doesn't really matter in terms of dealing with lower back pain because you can injure your back either way. Your back is, especially your lower back, is the main part of your core besides your abs and your abductor muscles and all that stuff down there. And if you have lower back pain, sometimes you can help it by stretching or what have you, or just keeping a strong core. But a lot of it is just, again, goes back to proper body mechanics. And lately myself, as I said in the intro, I've been having some lower back pain, dealing with stiffness. I do have a 3-hour round-trip drive, which does not help. And then I do drive a lot around town, shuffling kids around, what have you, or I'm sitting behind the computer. And then when I'm blowing glass, depending on what I'm making, I typically do stand. However, at Disney right now, my bench height is a little short for me. I'm 6 foot tall, and it's a little bit short. So they're actually going to be requested a small little tabletop box that I could put my torch on to raise it up just a smidge. That way I have proper body mechanics. So a lot of these references here I have are through the internet, and they're actual statistical evidence I've found and just studies and what have you, and ways of helping to avoid, whether it's from OSHA. I've got some stuff from the University of Virginia, and all the references will be in the show notes as well for you to check out if you want to further go upon and look at this stuff. But again, it's super important to understand and know this stuff. So ergonomics, back injury prevention. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, back injuries account for 1 of every 5 injuries and illnesses in the workplace. 80% of these injuries occur to the lower back and are associated with the manual materials handling tasks. BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, further states that re-aggravation of a previous injury almost always results from a new incident, which involves the employee either slipping, twisting, extending, reaching weird, lifting-related injuries, including sprained, strains, neural-related, neuromuscular-related injuries, or bone-related injuries. And these injuries can affect any part of the body, but the majority occur to the lower back. The term best describing these ailments is idiopathic, which means without apparent cause. There is, however, a correlation between injury claims for low back pain and physical activities, such as lifting, bending, twisting, pushing, pulling, etc. Cures remain unclear, and back pain, whether treated or untreated, can subside quickly or linger. Back pain can reoccur at any time. The bottom line is that you bear the responsibility for preventing back injuries, just like you can prevent a forest fire. The following tips can help you maintain a healthy back. If you are suffering from acute pain, seek medical attention first. And acute pain basically means sharp stabbing pain that is not going away, just constant. That definitely you want to get that checked out. A lot of dull pain, stuff that kind of comes and goes, is typically just from bad body mechanics and bad posture. So again, this all comes from the University of Virginia EDU Educational Board here. And this talks about getting to know your back. Myself personally do have a medical background, and because of that, I feel it helps to myself understand and help to explain these type of things. I'm going to be creating a little forum communicational page on our Facebook group to have these kind of conversations. I'm also going to be posting the videos that I'm making to correlate and correspond with this episode, showing you some proper stretching techniques that I do that you can do right at home or in your studio. And these have been shown to me from my physical therapist, my massage therapist, as well as just from knowing my body and how I stretch. And I want to share that with you. So getting back to knowing your back. Your back is composed of vertebrae, discs, nerves, and muscles. Vertebrae, 33 in number, are cylindrical bones which enclose the spinal cord, stacked vertically together, separated by discs to form the vertebral column or spine. The spine's basic functions include providing support, protecting the spinal cord, providing flexibility to allow bending and rotating. When normally aligned, the spine forms three natural curves, your cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. Maintaining these natural curves keeps the spine in balance. So here's how you can recognize the 5 leading back injury risk factors. 1 is poor posture. 2 is poor physical condition. 3 is improper body mechanics. 4 is incorrect lifting. And 5 is jobs that require high energy. God bless me. And here's how you can actually check your working posture according to this article I found. All right, so this is from Terry McShane, M.A. It says, try this. Place one hand cupped under your chin, with the other in back of your head at the base of the skull. Pick your head up gently and move it to a point at which it's aligned over your spinal column. And your head weighs a lot, doesn't it? Where do you usually carry your head as you work? Pitch forward, like most of us? Think of the pressure this puts on your fragile spinal discs and how easily you can pull the whole spinal column out of alignment with incorrect carriage of the head. Having this awareness will help you correct as you go, adjusting the way in which your head is positioned over your spine during your hours at work. So basically she's saying, or he's, I'm not sure if this Terry's a man or a woman, but basically they're saying is just to grab your head, your underneath your chin and behind the back of your head and try and, literally pick your head up. And you can really feel, as I'm doing this now, talking to you, if you can push your head forward. A lot of this also, just kind of a side note, doing this episode, seeing so many online now videos and live streaming of artists and how torches are not at the right height, bench heights aren't proper, and body mechanics are terrible. I mean, there's all kind of things we can get into, but, talking about just body mechanics. So it's important to understand that when you are working, that your head is in the proper alignment with your spine. Otherwise, you're causing extra wear and tear and unnecessary muscle strain, I should say, on your tendons and your nerves and everything that goes along from your up to the top of your head to your lower back. So just think about, the way your head is positioned when you're working. If you're looking down all the time, if you're hunched over, if you're protruding your head out, your chin forward, there's all kind of things that you got to think about when you're working without, really thinking about it. It's almost like subconsciously. And when you create good body mechanics and good habits and posture, then it just comes naturally. Because we're also thinking about our glass, people talking to us, Instagram and blowing glass, not burning ourselves, all that kind of shit. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Getting on a tangent here. Be willing to change your posture habits. Our bodies are designed to move, bend, and flex, and our posture changes to fit the task. Static posture leads to discomfort and lower productivity. Be aware of your posture while working. Maintain a neutral posture. When you assume a neutral posture, your body will find its natural balance. Adjust your work site to fit you before you begin the task. And this goes along again with your bench height, making sure your torch is at the right height, making sure your body is or everything's aligned and good. And this will give you more of a natural feel in your posture. So here's what the neutral posture includes. Your wrist posture, keep your wrist straight, not bent or twisted. If you're sitting in a sitting posture, this is your neutral posture, but if you're sitting, keep your head balanced naturally over your shoulders, not protruding in front of your body. Keep your shoulders relaxed, not hunched. Keep your forearms and thighs parallel to the floor. Sit back in your chair for support, not on the front edge. Adjust the back of your chair for support. So if you do feel like you need to sit in the front edge of your seat, just scoot that backrest if you can closer to your lower back. And settle your feet on the floor or footrest. And then this is for a standing posture for the neutral position. Keep your spinal column aligned in its natural curves. Remember they mentioned before about your three curvatures you have in your back. Keep those aligned. And prop one foot up on a stool to reduce stress in your lower back. And that's something I do myself. I sometimes have like a little something next to me that I can put my foot up, so I can I do it when I drive too. It's kind of crazy, but anyhow, something to think about. Stretch often and shift positions. Change your position often. Stretch frequently throughout the day. Keep your body flexible, not rigid. Static posture becomes uncomfortable and decreases productivity. Don't force your body to conform to its workplace. Habitually poor posture will cause increased aches and pains. And again, this goes along with bench height, your torches, making sure when you're working that you are keeping your head in a neutral position, that your chin is and head is in line with your shoulders, that you're not protruding your head out in front of you. You know, all that stuff. It's really important to think about. And if you're listening to this while you're on the torch, get yourself going right now while you're on the torch. Get yourself lined up while we're talking about this and describing it. If you're sitting in your car, you can do it while you're sitting. If you're standing at work, or you're standing, walking on, whatever you're doing, just stop and try it. Try to figure out how to get yourself lined up. Now this gets into more about stretching your muscles and getting warmed up before getting to work. A few simple stretches before beginning to perform the task will warm up your muscles and increase your ease of movements. And then you stretch again to cool down and decrease potential stiffness after completing the tasks. Stretch periodically throughout the day. This goes again along with what I'll say before. I'm going to have a couple videos I'm posting that will show some stretches that I've been doing lately that my massage therapist showed me that more or less has really relieved a lot of my back pain before and after working, or even during, or if I'm whatever. Just something to think about throughout the day you can do for yourself. Makes a big difference. You can use a towel, you can use a Frisbee. There's different ways of going about it, but I'm going to show you again in the video how to do it. So the conclusion for all this is working safely means using common sense in the workplace, monitoring ergonomic trends, and stay physically fit, and making injury prevention a top priority. Remember your work day is 1/3 of your total day. Plan your tasks carefully to avoid a painful back. Managing your back is your responsibility. And in past episodes, I've talked about working in shifts where you can work like 3 hours and then take a 20-minute break and then work for 5 hours or 3 hours, whatever you got to do. But the idea is to continue to take breaks and really make sure that what you're doing is proper body mechanics, staying hydrated, and taking breaks and stretching. Now that I've covered a little bit of the ideas of body mechanics, now I want to talk about your bench itself and your bench height. Now, typically, my bench for myself, being 6 foot tall, my bench is about the height of my belly button, I would say. And by having it it's about 3 feet, I would say, roughly. I'm actually going to draw a little picture, but I'm also going to, in the video, I'm going to show you my bench height as well and how I work. But the idea is that when I'm working on the torch, my actual torch itself, my torch height, with the top of the torch is just about in between my nipples, I guess, nipple height. But if you think about, I guess, where your armpit is, maybe a little bit lower than your armpit, just at the crest of your chest, and your yeah, I guess that just your whole chest area, I guess, in a sense. Because that way you can really think about keeping your wrist straight, your arms. If you tuck your elbows in and work with your hands out in front of you, when you're sitting or standing, it helps out. I guess also it all depends on what you're making. But when you're thinking about height of your bench, think about to have your bench height around your navel area, and then to have your torch so that your flame area, your flame composition is around chest height. That way you're kind of looking down, but you're looking down more at an angle. You're not looking straight down. So you can actually stand back and look down towards your flame and not have to worry about jutting your head forward or feeling like you're trying to, look over your torch in a sense. Because if your torch is too high, then you're going to have your arms elevated, extended out more than you want. Your shoulders will get tired. Your lower back will get tired. One of the reasons I do stand as well myself when I work, not only because it's more comfortable, but also because I've always felt that your body absorbs all your weight. So if you're working on bigger pieces or you're on your feet all the time, all day, your whole body potentially can absorb this weight if you are using proper body mechanics. If you're not, well, then your back's taking all the weight. But by sitting, your shoulders and your arms and your back are taking most of the punishment, where when you're standing, your legs are involved in that, so you now have a little bit more space and absorption rate, of the weight in a sense. That's going to help you in the long run. And having myself been doing this now for 18 years, I'm starting to feel aches and pains here and there, mostly arthritis or that kind of stuff in my hands, but my back has been pretty good for the most part. I do get tight. I have been dealing lately with lower back pain, but I think as long as you have good, proper body mechanics, you stay somewhat physically fit. I'm not saying six-pack abs and shredded, but if you do have some kind of routine fitness regimen, mine's just jump roping and body weight exercise stuff, push-ups and chin-ups and crunches and that kind of crap, which this last year and a half has really helped me and keeping me feeling toned, but also feeling like I've got good posture, if not better posture than I've had in years. So those kind of things. And then also just working in breaks. Work 3 hours, take off a half an hour, work for 3 hours, take off an hour. If you do that 4 or 5 times in a day, you can get 12 to 15-hour shifts done, if you have a full day. And then the times you have off, have a break, take a nap, have some lunch, drink some water, that kind of stuff. Also make sure that you are staying hydrated. Don't forget that caffeine will cause you more or less to become dehydrated if you drink too much of it. And if you're not drinking water, it doesn't help. So really think about just keeping your muscles and your body hydrated, which allows you to have, again, better recovery time when you do have a long day. Because as you know, if you have a long day on the torch, you can be pretty sore for a couple days. Or if you have a couple long days on the torch, and I guess a lot of this too, I'm talking about this too, just because of the fact that we did have these 3 trade shows that just passed, or really 4, I guess, depending on how you want to talk about them. But typically, as an artist, I know how it is. You crunch up until that time, usually like about a month beforehand, or maybe even a couple weeks. So you're just going for like 20 hours a day. And if you do that for too long, physically, you're going to kill yourself, and emotionally as well. But also, you're just going to be sore for a couple days or a couple weeks afterwards, and it's really not worth it. So just think about the body mechanics and that kind of stuff, and taking breaks, being more productive, being good to your body, because this is your tool. This is your machine that you have to be able to produce your art and do your thing. If you couldn't walk, if you didn't have if you broke your arm, or there's all kind of things to think about, but your back is the most important part. So before I ramble on too much about this, I just kind of want to cover some topics on this. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I really just want to get you thinking about when you're on the torch, proper body mechanics, the science behind a little bit of it, and then just kind of go from there. So, yeah. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 149. You can find us online at wiseguymedia.com/149. And all the information, links, what have you, and graphs and charts are in the show notes there as well. And until next time, we'll talk to you on episode 150. Enjoy your day. Happy melting, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you. Take care. Peace. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by The Flow magazine. Since its inception, the focus of The Flow has been to provide a bond among members of the lampworking community. In every issue, you can enjoy great content with the hottest artists and cutting-edge techniques using the latest industry products. These features, along with the continuation of our Women in Glass edition, Glasscraft Emerging Artist Awards, inspiring gallery showcases, dynamic general interest articles, as well as health and safety information, make The Flow the leading international lampworking journal. For more information or to subscribe to The Flow, go to theflowmagazine.com. That's theflowmagazine.com.